Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TI-8 group stage. We are in our third series of the day. Just when you thought we were out, they pull us back
Keeps
in.
on going. I love this. There are no breaks.
Yeah.
Nothing in between the games. We go right into it. I feel like I just stood up and then I sat down, and suddenly it's Serenity versus Vici Gaming.
Yeah.
And oh, what's that I hear? The draft has already started. That's how fast
Let's do
things
it.
are going. So come on in. Come sit around the fire. Let me tell you a story about Dota 2 and tell you about Team Serenity. Because these guys are pretty fun. They love Nyx Assassin. They love Nyx Assassin so much that Vici Gaming banned at first phase.
Yeah, you know what else? We can talk about Serenity because it's fun talking about them. They've been doing really good upsets all around. They were able to take down one game against Liquid, take down one game. Wait, Liquid? No, VP and
Yep.
Secret.
And
That's what I was
Secret.
thinking of. Vici Gaming, not so much. It's been a little bit of a rough one for them so far, at least if I remember correctly. They've been losing a decent amount.
Yeah, they were a team that I know. I kind of thought that maybe with the lack of pressure on them coming
Right.
into it, just because they made it through the qualifying of the top eight from DPC, but I don't know how many people put them in the top eight these days.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's sort of weird, right? Like the drafts from them always felt sort of very team fight centric, and I don't know if they're still. I don't know. They're all incredibly individually talented, but it just doesn't feel like it's coming together for them. Um, like I remember the other day they picked like an Underlord, and when in their heyday it was like Underlord, Zeus, and like I don't know something else like a Bloodseeker, right? And then you would just like drop all these big AOE ultis or team fight spells on top of people with like a Pit of Malice, the Nimbus, and then you just kind of run over them. But that doesn't really seem to be the case anymore.
yeah, I think Vici, at least for the very moment, typically they tend to struggle in terms of like their own region sort of stuff, right? Or like,
Hmm.
well, I guess it went both ways. Newbie was always this dominant force in the region, right? They would always tend to beat all the other Chinese teams, and then maybe they'd struggle a bit versus like some of the international teams. At least after TI, of course, they did very well at TI that year, coming second, but. Now, they managed to kind of beat the monkey off their back there. VG Gaming taking down Newbie this morning. So it's a pretty big win for them as a team. I'm sure it's a lot of confidence. Even if they are just like someone from their own region, still feels pretty good. And now they're up against another team from their own region. I would be curious to know just how much VG Gaming and Serenity have actually played against each other because they weren't really in the same class in China.
Yeah, until the most recent couple of months, I would say, and even then, Vici were playing a lot more often in like the actual leagues themselves, whereas Serenity was in the qualifiers. There were occasionally tournaments that Vici were either getting directly invited to or making it through in the later
Right.
rounds of the qualifiers and stuff. So I think that to me at least, when I'm looking at these teams, you're not necessarily going to see a similar meta because Serenity also do just a lot of different weird things, and so do Vici.
Yeah. Well, Vici, they will be gifted their IO, so that's been banned out every single game in the first phase. They actually banned it in one game in the first phase so far, but other than that, it's always been their opponents, so certainly something that people have been respecting. But Serenity, they're ready for it. We've talked a couple times about this idea of the silencer, because as you guys know, IO was changed up. You now have to channel the relocate. It's now really annoying. In terms of like saving, it's a lot harder to do. And in terms of aggressive plays, you can just pop the ulti. And suddenly that global's not going to come through, and that means that it's more difficult to set up a good-looking team fight for IO to come through. But there's one thing that IO has looked good with. It is gyrocopter.
Yeah, and this almost assuredly gives us a Morphling ban out of Vici. I don't think that you can. I mean, as good as IO Gyrocopter looks, the Morphling is the answer, and that's something you need to take out of there. They also decided to take the Faceless Void out of the picture. And I guess this is the other thing, is that IO Gyrocopter, as much as you like to accelerate your farm by being able to relocate into a fight,
Yeah.
you also just get a ton of like ability from just running down a lane once those heroes eventually get to that ridiculously farm state of both 25 talents. So that in that sense, the silencer isn't as much of a counter as other games.
Well, in terms of the similarities for their victories here so far, the Lena's looked good. They won both of their games with Lena for Team Serenity. And then actually during the qualifiers, that was a pretty common hero for them. Like the Morphling that you mentioned was actually a hero they used a lot because they were playing up against IG during the China qualifiers, who kept running Undying. And so they would constantly just morph into him, copy the Tombstone, and then have that for both fights. So they're very comfortable with the Morphling as it did kind of carry them through the later stages of the qualifier. In fact, the last two games they used to get directly to the International came on the back of the Wave Man. So if it's not banned out here, I could see them going for it, and it won't be. However, it does turn into this issue of like then you have a Clinks who'd probably going to the mid lane and then a Morphling in the safe lane or vice versa. But then there's a lot of pressure now on your 4 and position 3 hero to try and provide very good team fight because Sansa is team fight, but it's not like game-winning team fight in a lot of ways, right? Like he pops his ulti, but you still need people to actually throw those stuns. So
Yeah.
we'll get the Ursa for now.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, that's the thing, right? Is that it's like it doesn't matter so much the idea of running Clinks in a different lane than like safe or whatever, or if they want to run it mid. I think the bigger issue is like you said that lack of team fight stuff. Interestingly enough, Ursa doesn't really solve that problem either. I think the big thing we're seeing is there are no stuns in this game right now for Team Serenity, and that's pretty important when dealing with IO, I feel like, and Gyrocopter, to make sure that you can like stop them from just running away from you. So either Serenity need to pick up a heck of a lot of disable now, or they just need to pick like the most run at you lineup of all time.
Well, so far, I wouldn't mind some sustain to go with what they have. As much as I hate like Underlord, maybe they just have a better answer than Underlord. But some hero that could provide things like the Urn and a little bit of like team sustain would be really cool to help actually just continue pushing. Like if you get a kill with the Ursa and you just keep focusing down towers with your Clinks. They also have a very good Roche potential right now, so team fight around the Roche pit would be very good. Maybe the Wyvern actually looks kind of okay here. Pretty long range control. It's pretty good against IO +1.
It is interesting that we've been seeing so much more of the Wyvern getting picked in some of these games to the point where it's like first phase picked every single time, and then here not touched, and we're in the last of the second round of picks.
Yeah.
Shows that the meta is still very diverse.
I mean, Enchantress is also still in the pool.
Yeah, that's actually insane.
Differences in the regions.
Yeah, what they value.
Back in the day, China, of course, was notorious to never picking IO. Thought it was a garbage hero, even when Alliance was owning. But now they're into it. So maybe in a few years they'll like Enchantress.
Okay.
Of course, some teams still go for the Enchantress. We had KP playing it for Team Newbie.
Yeah, and I think that it varies depending upon which of the Chinese teams you're talking about also. And to be honest, it's getting to the point now where I don't even think that you can necessarily just classify a region as like that type of thing anymore because there's so much integration that happens. Like Southeast Asia players are going into play in China.
Sure.
They're bringing their own meta. You've got everybody that's sort of playing together on the highest level at all these tournaments all year long. Like Vici to me feels in some way more like a Western team than some of the Western teams nowadays. I don't know if you were to characterize a play style by a region.
Just trying to go for the Mirana last. So it's not a lot of team fight, but it is a lot of heavy pickoff. Lots of burst damage coming out here, which is very good against the IO. If you can burst it down instantaneously, or even the target is trying to heal before a lot of that sustained healing comes out from an urn or something like that. Maybe that'll be enough. Very elusive. Maybe not necessarily elusive, but hard to kill heroes in the lane too for their cores and the Clinks, the Ursa, and the Mirana.
But like, it's so weird, right? They have no like real targeted stun as the lean is going to get taken from Vici. I was kind of wondering if you could take something like a Storm just to punish the fact that the only stun at this point in the game is Mirana Arrow. I don't know if there's anything else that they really might think of, but
Yeah, curious. I think this will be the Lina in the mid lane, and they're just looking at this as a situation where Lina can do very well in the lane. Someone who can kind of handle the annoyance of the Clinks and just stay outside the range, just nuke down the wave, and then become an assassination hero of her own across the map, where she just Shadow Blades and finds herself a Yules into a kill. Not so easy on someone like the Ursa, but she can be stalking the backlines for someone like that Silencer.
yeah. Well, Bloodseeker banned out. One of the other ones that can just keep that tempo up. And it does feel, again, like it's the sort of Vici gaming style of play of heavy team fight. Serenity less so. Much more pick off, as you'd said, elusiveness. We'll see if they double down on that. I would say the one thing that's a little bit scary is like Serenity has good Roche taking, but the only building taking they really have is like a Clinks.
Yeah.
Maybe something like a Shadow Shaman to finish off their draft. I don't know.
I think for Vici is man, every hero is just banned out right now. All these nice looking heroes for this final pick. They do play Brood. That could be rather obnoxious at the moment. If they ban a Brood counter hero, that might be the play. I think the last support for Team Serenity will be rather interesting too. I almost feel like they need a playmaker, but they also need kind of a defensive support too. I don't think Wyvern's good enough. They banned the Dragon Knight, so their thing is just going to be support Ursa or support Mirana.
Okay.
I don't think I like support Ursa this game very much. Like it's okay in matchups where there's heroes you can bully, but I feel like everyone's too fast on the side of Vici Gaming.
Yeah. Well, it is going to be that Dragon Knight band, as you said. Maybe that big sort of strong laner, and I guess that you could always sort of set up for a kill. Maybe Naga Siren for Team Serenity.
Classic with the Mirana, that'd be kind of cool. It's pretty good against the relocate too. Helps you focus down BKB targets. Nothing the IO can do because Gyro will have his BKB going, but then IO will be just frozen. But that is one of the more shocking fall-offs of a hero of the entire year. I mean, she was relevant the entire year. Like, the whole DBC season, she was one of the top-tier picks. It would not be unusual at all to see her in the first phase, and then suddenly she vanishes. But we got to look at the player playing the hero, and that's what I didn't do, and that's 11, and that's his Batrider. This guy loves the hero. He makes incredible plays. 11 is the most up-and-down hero I've ever encountered. This guy, I have seen him single-handedly win several games that looked impossible, and I've seen him do exactly the opposite. But he's quite the player.
Yeah.
You know, I came into looking at this TI. I really want to see Vici do well because I think this guy is a treasure.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he must be like the Chinese Eternal Envy kind of a deal. He must have a cult following over there. I would think.
No
you know,
doubt.
you pray to him. You say, 11, bring me this win. And sometimes he does, and then sometimes he gives you the Eternal Envy, the Eternal 11, whatever you want to call it.
Well, and I think that it's like this type of hero too, where it's just like you want to put him on something that he's comfortable with, so he can perform like that. You know, give him something he feels good about. The other day he was playing Underlord, and well, I'm sure he's a fabulous Underlord. So this Serenity draft is a little bit crazy. I guess it sort of all fits. To me, when I look at this team and they pick things that are more strange, with like basically only 2 stuns in it. I feel like it shouldn't do well, and then it always does, which shouldn't surprise me anymore. You know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know. You can never really tell. They are very cryptic in their picks. We'll have to see how it goes. Yeah. Ori on the Lina, Fenrir on the Bane, Paparazzi on the Gyro. Just all relatively standard stuff here for Vici Gaming. So, classic, Io and the Batrider. Might see them laning together, and then you can use Bane and the Gyrocopter too. And you can just utilize the move speed advantage there that the IO provides you and just run over your opponents. A hero that Ursa really doesn't want to lane against. Mirana doesn't do that. Well, sure, you can leap away, but you only have so many of those when they're just being harassing on top of you with the napalm and a little bit of fire.
Yeah. I mean, the other option is like Nightmare and then stack up some sticky napalms or whatever, start fire flying over somebody. Could be something else that's sort of frustrating to play against. Or even just Fenrir roaming around and maybe finding a kill mid with a Nightmare into Light Strike Array. But I kind of like the Vici Gaming draft a little bit more.
It's much more standard. It's a lot easier to read what they want to do. No question about that. A lot of pressure on the silencer, I think, for Team Serenity.
I guess maybe Serenity just like try and find these skirmishy, pick off in team fights and then convert that into a Roche, which can be strong. And I think it would be good if they could. I mean, no matter what, if they have either Clinks or Ursa alive, they're going to be able to take Roche really easily.
Yeah, the Global Silence is also very strong against the Batrider because a lot of their damage is spell-based. So if someone gets lassoed and you still have the Silencer, you can just pop Global, and then they might not be able to finish them off in time. It depends on what point the Gyrocopter's at. If they have enough itemization on him, and then just he's going to be tethered anyway, right? So yeah. Still going to do lots of damage through right-clicks. It'll also depend if the Lina has already precast to ensure that when the fight starts, she has her stacks going. So just those little things.
Yeah, well, game number 1 here, Vici versus Serenity. And it is the type of game that feels like it could potentially go the distance a little bit. I don't know, actually, I feel like this one might be kind of on the quicker side. Like, you have a lot of, like, well, I don't know. It sort of depends on how well Vici's, like, laning stage goes, right?
Yep.
Like, if Paparazzi has a really good game, the high ground defense from Team Serenity just seems abysmal. But on the flip side, if Serenity get off to a hot start in these lanes, Vici are going to be able to hold forever, basically. Like, you've got Batrider there, so it's hard for you to step up and try and hit tier 3 towers. You've got a Gyrocopter that can spam out waves.
Man, on the one hand, I like the support Ursa. On the other hand, I hate the support Ursa. Because the benefits of the support Ursa are that like the Ursa's kind of countered by the Bat Rider, and then even just like the general difficulty and mobility of getting on top of Alina. So you kind of need like a Blink and a Skull Basher. But then I don't know how like he can't trade that well versus a Bane and a Bat Rider. So
Yeah.
what is this support going to be able to do? I feel like he's just going to be sitting here leeching, and the only way he gets kills is through some sort of an arrow. It can be very difficult.
We do also have the silencer. What a build. 4 tangos and 4 branches.
Okay, all you need.
Yeah, just use a branch for every tango. Suddenly he's got 8 tangos worth. But yeah, Wind Ranger mid. Gonna be
Blast
going
from the
off
past.
against the Lina.
So taking the Clinks out of there, just not wanting to deal with that matchup. That would be a little bit annoying. A little bit easier for Wind Ranger to handle the pelting of all those right clicks with the Wind Run, but still not a great time, really. She can just harass back like this and bully a little bit, but once the spells start stacking up for the Lina, a lot easier to hit all of your spells than it is for the Wind Ranger to keep getting consistent power shots on top of you.
What else is kind of cool is they both got strafe and wind run, so it's like 2 different ways that you dodge projectiles.
Sadly, there are none. I mean, there's the right clicks, but other than that, there's no like spell-based projectiles
Yeah.
that are coming out here.
It's really just the right clicks. Man, and already a lot of pressure here on towards the bottom lane. Lanham taking a beating, Paparazzi taking a beating, getting down very low. This Bloodseeker would have been a really nice pickup in this one.
Yeah, the projectile dodging actually will be really nice against Gyrocopter, though. It's between, I'm guessing, the missile and the flat cannon. Should be good.
As we talked about, it is the Bane together with the Bat Rider. We'll just be trading hits. Bottom lane, still Lanham taking a little bit of damage there, but willing to trade it off.
Top lane, they get a little bit of damage in there from the support Ursa. He gets a slowdown, gets some punches in there, and loses 3/4 of his HP. But he did quite a bit of work, too. So
God, this is triple range creep coming in. Serenity are just like pressuring them constantly. I think he was going underneath the tower here and going to force a reaction.
yeah, I don't think they'll be able to get too many of these denies, though. And these trades, very advantageous for Fenrir.
Giving him a lot. Flat cannon spam now also. Gonna do some damage down there to GGG and XCJ. Force them back, and a regen rune for the Wind Ranger. Power shot, give him one time, and the trade.
That was a nice
the
play.
hits.
So problems with the mid Wind Ranger, and I would say like reasons why we don't see it all too often, is that she's just not the same kind of like lane dominator that she was before. I guess it's not like she's gotten a lot worse, but it just, I don't know, maybe it's just the change in the mid heroes that we have instead. But overall, the thing about core Wind Ranger is that she needs a lot of items.
Yeah.
Like every time you buy an item, you feel like you just need another one. It's like, you know, oh, I finally got my eggs, and it's like, oh, now I need a BKB so I can actually use my eggs, and blah blah blah. So. Not really expecting the eggs to come out here, as the double null is also there, just trying to keep up with this damage of Alina, who has gone for the double null for herself.
Yeah. Well, and I remember back in the day when it first came to prominence, or I should say first, it was a couple of years ago, but it was probably like the 3rd or 4th time that it's been seen. It was tended to be like the Ags immediately into a Chrysalis, or like a mini crit, as they're going to do some damage there on a ZYD. And then that started to get taken out because you were like, oh, we actually need the BKB after the Ags, and then it just kind of went to heck. But now with the Maelstrom, you can sometimes go for it as well. And ZZZ doing some damage down there. As they're
Even the
also
turn
hitting
with
away.
5-6 stacks now.
That's a good bit of damage, just not afraid, and finds first blood. Fenrir goes down. 11 kind of in some trouble too. He is fireflied, but the damage coming through from this Ursa, they don't really have a great answer, and he finds a double kill.
Wow, excellently played from inside of Serenity. Just kind of flawless positioning going through, knowing the limits there from Xingqiu, able to stack up 6 times, but in the bottom lane, similar play happening, and this time it'll be Serenity who suffer. Paparazzi with his stuck-out scarf will grab the kill.
Make it work. Yeah, I'd say good bit of damage that comes out there early. The 1-1-1 build from the Gyrocopter. As far as the CS is concerned, Lina somewhat dominating the Wind Ranger. 26-7 versus the 17-2.
Where's the bottle at? Is it on the courier? Oh, yeah. That is nice.
Give him a little trade. Yeah, I'll pass that one over to him, and Now getting
Top
close to the
lane,
5-minute mark.
PYW also went for the kill. There's 6 Fury Swipe stacks on this Bane. Oh, you're
He
crazy!
needs one more. It wasn't quite there. He's in mid-animation.
The attack speed slow.
8 of them. Jeez.
Not quite enough there. Rather, the turn rate slow, that is. But anyway, 220 gold for Bane. Surviving. And Zinq forced back. Only 1 leap remaining. Has to use it.
But the Nightmare is there. And with all these stacks maintained... Oh, no. It fell off.
Yeah.
It's a little unfortunate.
Now Fenrir is actually in a little bit of trouble. Has to go back for the brain stab to stay alive. But PYW has shown up.
Now this Ursa gets a little bit discombobulated.
Fenrir's out of everything.
Yeah, he's just going to probably run out of here.
Oh, Hasted Lina coming through, but spotted from the ward there, and that allows them to retreat.
Yeah. It's only a level 3 Ursa. Can't really do much against this. With the Light Strike Array and a Laguna Blade, or I could just blow him up. So they are going to trade off bounty runes there. You can see that Vici were able to take a couple on the other side of the map. Serenity are going to end up taking a few as well.
So they left the Wind Ranger alone mid, but ZYD didn't quite find any sort of moment to ult the tower or anything, so no real pressure, no problems with the rotation from the Lina. And now just going to be eyeing up that 6-minute rune. Down bottom, they are chasing a little bit, trying to get another one of these kills onto ZZZ if possible, but a little bit too deep there. A bit too speedy.
Now top lane now. 5 stacks on the Zinq. The damage comes through so quickly, and with no leap, that is going to be a kill, but UIW wants to finish off 11, gets some revenge for his Mirana.
This Ursa's 3-1. He's slaying. Might as well be the
control.
core. He's got as much farm as his core, and you kind of need this on this hero too, right? Like if you're gonna play this greedy Ursa support, he still wants a Blink Dagger to be effective. Pretty much worthless without it.
It's kind of a cool little idea, right? Because like if Mirana throws out the arrow, you either have to dodge left or right, and then Ursa can get a couple more hits off for the Fury Swipes, right? It's like a weird way to zone somebody out.
You give that Arcane Curse over to that catapult. Take it down. Give it the last word.
Well, good bit of damage as they spread out. Don't take the double from the spirits.
so
but
low.
Paparazzi thought about going in
He's
for
saving the skill point. He's still just not going to spend it.
Meanwhile, top lane, they are finding Fenrir, and it looks like it is going to be a quick and easy kill there as they take him down as well. The Nightmare onto PYW, and then they're just able to follow it through and find an arrow. God, Phase Boots Ursa. 7 minutes in as the support. Like, this lane is just so much harder now for Vici.
Yeah, they have not gotten much of this at all. About 2,100 net worth, so behind even the Ursa for the Bat Rider, and then Bane much further down on the chart there. So not looking too great. Meanwhile, Ori in the mid lane playing very aggressively, throwing with some stuns, missing on a couple, but he's got a regen rune, so he's just hoping for a play possibility there onto ZYD. And Ori actually gets all the way back because there is an Observer Ward here, and there's no Enrage. That's support Ursa. Oh, the Nightmare! No!
Oh my god,
Fenrir!
that's not what you wanted. They still find it though. Light Strike Array comes out, the damage.
Oh, no!
It's not quite. Oh, they get him. That would have been tragic.
You know what it was? It was the next level play because it made them use Moonlight Shadow. It gave them false hope. VG Gaming, they are just too strong, too smart.
All about that next level play. Yeah, ZYD moves back in again, trying to get towards those phase boots for himself as top lane Zinq's been left alone. I mean, this Bat Rider, again, you don't necessarily pick it always for the laning stage. I think it's more about that ulti and what you can do with it later on, but you'd love for him to be able to get out of here with a decent timing on either a Blink or if he wants to go for the drums, I don't know.
I think he probably needs Blink in this game. If he has Blink, the Lina will be ready to abuse it with him. So I think it's all right. You just got to make sure that you have a partner that can actually go around with you and get kills if you go for the Blink first. The drums is for when you're dominating a lane and you want to keep up that pressure and slow down some sort of an enemy carry. But he doesn't have any sort of a carry that he can really abuse because the Ursa ended up being the support. And PYW, well, you guys remember the good old days at Ursa Jungle. It's back, baby. You just pick support. And call your, don't call yourself the jungler. You just support for the first, 5 minutes, and everything will be fine.
You're actively ruining my pubbing experience.
I try. It's very important.
Unbelievable. Well, we are taking a look now. 9 minutes in, as far as net worth is concerned for the top heroes, about 4,000 for both the Gyro and the Lina. They're having a very nice time for themselves. And Oddly enough, it's the Ursa that's sort of trading spots with the Clinks there and getting pretty close to about the same amount. The Clinks has just been ran at constantly.
Zinq.
First lasso of the game. They pull back in. The Mirana does have Leap available, but the relocate in, almost able to find the kill, but PYW wanting to get this chase down. It doesn't look like it's quite going to happen as they kill off that Ursa. It's a relatively big kill, and Serenity. The Arrow of Justice was not enough.
No. Nice double kill. Good use of the first relocate, good first lasso, and that's the kind of stuff that you want with a Batrider draft. So I can either use, you can wander by yourself. Man, this is actually a really synergistic draft.
Oh, Shackle. ZYT makes the play onto Ori. He just focus fired him and ran at him.
All right. Pretty big pickup there, slowing down the Yule Scepter. In fact, that death cost pretty much took it away. 166 there. Meanwhile, Zinq returns top. Might be a kill here with XCJ.
Yeah, the slowdown, he's going to get hit by that one. Good juke out from the Arrow, but, there's going to be the connection with Starstorm, and they get the kill.
-2.
Meanwhile, top lane, ZZZ, they're trading hits, and does look like Paparazzi is going to go down as this Wind Ranger has been making all the plays in the world, along with the Ursa, who's now just eaten the rocket barrage, but one more power shot will finish it.
It's a nice answer back there, too, because they're basically just waiting on cooldowns now for the Radiant side right before they just want to do that again. They just want to use Relocate, and they want to use Lasso. And what's so good about the Radiant side draft, though, is that I think Io and Bane are one of the most picked support duos of all time, because the Io strats have always historically used Bane just wandering by himself. And up top, actually attempting a solo kill here on a Zinq. And it's going to be all right. Didn't have a dust and still made it work. Lasso just needed at the end to secure, but totally worth. Give him the all chat. Give him the tip. 11. I love it.
11 feeling pretty good about himself.
They had an interaction in the pub. You can tell.
And nobody here has thought that they were going to be able to bring back Batrider and make it work, but 11 is the one that's doing it. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, they do manage to find the Yule Scepter and the kill there as Ori takes down PYW. XCJ. Able to zone back Fenrir as well as they give him one more power shot on the backside before he heads out of there.
That sentry just missed up there. Oh, so close. How unfortunate. And I'll keep them a little bit safe behind their tower now. Really good ward, honestly, by Team Serenity. Like that is a distinct, like, I hope this doesn't get dewarded ward because everyone wards for that little box up there where everyone drops their observers.
Oh. Yeah, it's the type of thing that can make all the difference in the world. And you get to maintain that extra little bit of vision. You see that there are rotations coming, and then you can sort of either A, dive the tower, take it down, or B, just dodge that potential. Lanham, relocate is ready if they want to set up for another kill, as they do have Blink, but still a little ways away before Lasso is up. 20 seconds.
Yeah, 11 needs the time for his Tranquils to kick in too, honestly, so. Not too big of a deal. They'll just slowly make the rotation to the mid lane, get a little bit of farm there, but ZYD's also at the bottom, just pushing him with power shot, and he'll be harassing a tower himself if he wants. Looks like he's not too sure about the confidence in the bottom lane, because they haven't seen anyone in a while, but they spot the Batrider on that observer ward that remains.
I feel like Serenity don't want to take 5-on-5 engagements here. Like, the strength of a gyrocopter in these early stages with call down and everything else that he's got in his toolkit, it's much better to play sort of pick off Dota and then split push around the map.
Yeah, they really need the Blink Dagger on the Ursa, so they have a support that can do something and actually combo up with this Global Silence. Other than that, they have to hit a big arrow because they're still waiting on itemization from the Wind Ranger. ZYD, I think he's not sure exactly on what they're going to need for the Wind Ranger too. Is it Blink keeps switching back and forth between the Blink build-up or the Maelstrom, and it will be the completed Maelstrom.
I mean, it does come at a cost, right? Like, so that allows him to push waves to make sure that the lanes are constantly pressured out, but the downside to it is that it means they really still don't have that initiation outside of, like, Moon Knight, Shadow, and Run at them, which can sometimes work. I've seen it before, but it's not necessarily reliable.
Feels like they picked half of the heroes that are good against an IO.
Well, they Moonlight Shadowed and they ran at him, and this is what happens. Global Silence to try and turn it. ZYD already trying to blow up this Wind Ranger, excuse me, the Batrider, and they do manage to find the kill. But now the Fiend's Grip onto one. Clinks is dead. PYW also gone. And meanwhile, the chase forward for more Zinq, just a madman runs in there, able to get away. The drive-by shooting of
Ori.
Ori.
That was a big recovery. But they still lost the tower, so in the end, I do believe this is still going to favor the side of Vici Gaming. But I think like they picked some heroes that are good against IO, but then they just didn't pick out. Oh, it's actually a big gold change for the Dire side, even though it's 2 for 2, just because the goldie that is there for the rating. But this isn't showing the tower gold, so depends on how you look at it. And also just keep in mind that relocate is still available in case anyone gets in trouble over the next minute before we wait for the lasso. So still feeling pretty good about Vici, what they have going for themselves. Just need that Shadow Blade finished up on the Lina, but. Overall, so what happens is that they have this IO plus Gyrocopter, and Clinks has always been a good hero versus the IO because you can just blow it up. But as you can see in this last little engagement here, Sentry's already down, so that helps scout them out. The quick grab onto the old Clinks.
I mean, it definitely shows the strength of that global silence. As you see some Bounty Rune battle going on there. And the pushback as well. Paparazzi chasing Xingqiu. They take him down, and now looking for more. They managed to almost find the kill there on his GGG. Clinks taking the damage forward, and Lanham also going to pay the price. Can they find any more? Nightmare?
Yeah, Arcane Rune, they're chasing hard.
They want to make this happen. Shackle shot's available. Paparazzi needs to be careful with the angle that he runs at. And
careful he doesn't get Ori.
I mean, Ori could think about helping him turn this, although they're all here. Yeah, they just need to get out of here. All right, ZYD's a madman. This guy's just running at him.
Oh, Ori's stuck.
Oh,
he
God.
is trapped. He's going to get shackled.
They get the shackle catch, and that's going to be the damage for the kill onto Lina. 2 times dead in the last couple minutes.
Very nice wraparound there from ZYD, and that gets the Blink Dagger there for PYW. And our support, Ursa, is on the way to the Basher at this point. I mean, if that's queued up in inventory in 16 minutes, you got to be feeling pretty good, I'm sure.
But no Blink. Oh,
no,
wait,
Blink's
it's
done.
In there. It's on there. Okay, yeah.
No, don't worry.
I was confused for a moment. It happens. 20
Not
seconds.
you. Confused? Days? Well, XCJ, it's been another 10 seconds here, but he did get a great ward down.
Oh. Xingqiu is also going to pay the price, but it looks like they don't want to try and finish him off. They thought he was going to die from that, but with the rest of the heroes moving in from Serenity.
Yeah, they had no detection, so.
Evacuation.
Easy survival.
Oh. Now they're all being revealed, and the back away. See, again, a very, like, sort of sparry, punchy, back-and-forth type of game. It doesn't necessarily feel, I don't know. It feels somewhat chaotic.
Yeah, they're going to smoke up, though, and create a little bit more chaos here. Team's friendly up in the top lane. Batrider, Firefly, lead the path. Follow that fire.
No, dodges the arrow, but 11 was never going to live through that.
I think I'd take the arrow.
Yeah.
I'd rather just die a lot faster, I think. This savage bear ripping you apart.
Lower respawn time. Yeah, it's Ori gets power shot. They do have a shadow amulet. And meanwhile, over to the side, they find themselves another. It's Fenrir going down. Get the +2 going for XCJ.
Just like no remorse right now.
Yeah.
This guy just dives in. God, you're so positive. Like a +2, not -2. Yeah, -2. That's too positive. You got to revel in the fact that this man is losing 2 intelligence. He's becoming dumber by the death. Oh, it's +2. Glass half full? I don't think so.
Look at this silencer. He's
brain half empty.
His cosmetic looks like he's smiling. It's great.
That's a smile, you?
Everything's a smile. All right, look forward down bottom, though. Ori. It's a little bit of a miss there onto the Light Striker, right? PYW able to get out of there. But it just goes to show again, like this Ursa jumps on this Lina, and she has to run away every single time. How many other support heroes would do that for you?
Yeah, not too many. Because I feel like Ori also has some chances at some kill plays on him too, just because the ridiculous burst he has now, the Shadow Blade. So got to be a little bit cautious, I think, at these like solo roams across the map now. Once they find out the Shadow Blade's there, especially now. So they have a Shadow Blade Lina, they have a Bane that can just wander around and nightmare people, and they have a Lasso. All 3 able to set up for relocates. And what's even scarier than that would be a 5-man gank. But aha, the Sentry. We'll scout out the Observer Ward placed by the Dire. But now, if you just smoke now, it's kind of like, well, we saw 5 heroes here, so you kind of know they're smoking. I sort of hate this play, but whatever. They just Dragon Slave mid too, because I'm sure they know that it's not that safe.
Well, they are about to get global silenced, I feel like. As they are waiting, the Radiant scan, hoping they're going to see somebody up on that high ground. No such luck. Vici holding the high ground. And Serenity.
Oh.
They're thinking.
W hops in and pump fakes the Earth Shock. Like, oh, I guess they're not here. Oh, there comes the Dragon Slave.
Oh, looking for the opening now. The global silence. They need to find the silencer right at the start, but it's not going to happen. Global is out. Paparazzi pops his BKB, able to eat through that arrow so nobody else takes the damage. ZYD is dead. And Vici, in spite of the somewhat odd smoke play, make it work. They take down one. The buyback on the Wind Ranger. Apparently they want to fight this one. Ori kills off that Ursa. Does he buy back too? The Shackle.
Oh, no.
They're all buying back. They want to run in after them. Can they actually find these kills, though? The jump forward, Paparazzi in a little bit of trouble with no BKB. They did manage to find the Fiend's Grip onto the Ursa. That's a dieback for him.
Wow, Fenrir, what a play.
Meanwhile, the Shackle onto 11. They'll take him down. 5 dead for Vici.
He survived so long, I thought it was going to work out, but Xingqiu just too much damage. And those buybacks were definitely worth it. Not only were they already behind, but you know, getting that extra bonus gold, able to TP right on top of the shrine and just get back into the engagement instantaneously. So about a 1,600 gold swing there for Team Serenity. And we've talked a lot about Roche being a possibility for them. Fortunately, for the side of each game, the fight ends up happening on the eastern half of the map. So we just start focusing down at this tower. And with a strafe and a soul ring, can force this down for the side of Team Spirit.
Yeah. The other thing is that Ursa
Team
going
Serenity.
down makes that a little bit tougher.
Sorry, Team Spirit. I feel like I've said Team Spirit like 4 times today between Team Secret and now Team Serenity, and I'm sure anyone, you know, any Team Spirit organization people are just like, oh, oh no, shucks.
That's how it happens.
Relocate top. We know Global's down. Die.
Looking for the kill.
Not the most value relocate, but you know,
Yeah, it's okay.
you should get int back. You should go the other way. You should be able to reclaim your int if you get the kill on the silencer. You just like pull it out of the brain or something, you know.
That's fair enough. That's how science works.
I think so.
ZYD spots out Ori here. Ooh, a little bit of a misplay, though. Walks into range of the tower. The Light Strike Ray connects, and do they have vision? They are going to catch him. ZYD, done.
That was ambitious. Just wind run under the tower. I really think they get the kill and hip, skip, and a bound. I don't know. Hop, skip, and a bound. Something like that. Gets away.
You're Canadian. We'll
I figured it
excuse
out. Yeah, that's a saying, not a mistake. Fools.
11, or rather 18 to 20. 21 minutes in, and it's still just neck and neck in terms of net worth. They're going to go in for Roche now, and Vici want to see if they can break this game open.
Oh, I was worried about Team Serenity being the ones to grab the Roche this whole time, but looks like it'll be easy peasy for Vici Gaming. Interference being run by 11. He's smoked up here, so if that pops, he's going to know.
The arrow just hit onto Fenrir, so they know what's happening. They're TPing in.
11 knows they're close, instantly pops their smoke, and they're like, oh my god, he's in there. So they curse him.
One to back down from a fight, though, as they're thinking about jumping in. Roche is going to fall. They managed to find it and get the Aegis. And with that, level 15 on Io.
And so it begins. 25% XP gain is so strong. So if you guys haven't seen this combo before, and if you're like, oh, what's so good about Io and Gyrocopter? Well, it's because Io, as you guys know, has a talent that now gives the Aghanim Scepter. And Aghanim Scepter is practically a double damage rune that you can't control for Gyro, but it just gives him another attack. It's always coming out. And then later on, when Io gets the talents that lets you attack whenever the person you're tethering attacks, well, geez, that works with Flat Cannon. And with the Aghanims, that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. No problem, I got you.
It's so crazy, the amount of damage that gets done, particularly if you actually get into a couple of damage items for an Io, because, as you mentioned, the talents, level 20 is a 150 GPM talent.
Oh,
now,
the Radiant, the scan, it did hit.
This is where things get a little bit scary, though, because you have all these heroes in the area, and they know they need to take down Paparazzi and land him, but they won't catch up to him. So good play there from Vici to dodge away from the gank coming from Serenity.
Everything is up for Vici Gaming too, so like once they start settling in and they figure where Team Serenity has moved after that smoke, like with heroes showing on that top lane, they could also consider smoking themselves and try and use this lasso for a kill. But they are also fully aware that Global is up here. So is this a smoke play coming, or are we just pushing a tier 2? Oh, look at this gold from the kills.
Oh, yeah. A lost gold from the kills as well. Kind of hurts. Fairly even, though, still, for both of those numbers. Looks like. But yeah, it's going to be the tier 2 tower, as you mentioned. Meanwhile, top lane is also going to be taking down the tier 2 tower.
Jeez, they do not get enough damage onto that, that's for sure.
Are they going to just push? No, they're not going to go for aggro. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, they're just hoping someone wanders a bit too far. I'm sure they're going to end up centering their high ground, but they'll be sad to find out that Vici didn't leave anything behind. But gotta do what you gotta do. Support life. I'm just throwing away your gold.
Clink's here. Does have his BKB completed, going towards an MKB next. Likewise, it's going to be a BKB for Mirana online very shortly as another smoke by Serenity. Looking for an opening here. If they can blow up the IO right at the start and... the pings come out though. As they jump forward,
It's not
thinking
down
there
there.
is somebody in there. This is scary. No blink. It's a long cooldown. They're just punching CYD, this range creep, giving the game away.
Oh, no.
And we'll take
They were so ready for that initiation. Bug. Uh-oh.
Oh. What is the IO bug?
I don't know. They might not be able to see the tether, maybe.
Okay. Well, we'll take our time. I'm sure that there are people talking to them right now about what the issue is. But 18 to 20, 1,000 gold lead. I don't know what that means.
That would be so good right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, nothing. It's okay. ...
All right. So there's a little bit of chat going on. A little bit of something. They've been hanging out in North America for a little while, so they're getting used to
Yeah, it's
the
good.
flavor.
You gotta find that, shift enter. That's pretty much the only way you should be using your keyboard. No sort of team communication.
Game is paused, but don't be afraid to experiment by playing an unfamiliar hero. That's a good.
Is that
thing
good
for all you people
advice?
there.
Okay, well, just do it in unranked. That's a good idea. That's good advice.
Or under hollow.
Oh, Clink's Searing Arrows ability causes extra physical damage on his attacks. Oh, well, wasn't that good to know?
You see, these are just little facts. This one is a good one. Pulling all neutral camps out of a camp near the minute mark will allow that camp to respawn. Use this to maximize the number of creeps you kill. What a novel concept.
Goodness. You can disable auto attacking in the options menu. Done that. Did that day one.
There's a funny thing. For some heroes, I feel like I actually need the auto attack after spell on, though. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There's one of the options.
I know
you
the
can do
option,
that
yeah.
And that one, particularly for Meepo, whenever I play Meepo, because I'll poof, and then the Meepos will just stand there and they'll look at me.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I just don't do anything.
That one's too long. We gotta skip that one.
Yeah,
I can't read that much. Thank you.
Use a Quelling Blade or Battle Fury to cut down trees and carve your own path through the forests. I think
It's pretty handy. That's a treant skill. All right, so you guys, you got your treant protector in your game. We saw one earlier.
Right.
And Pilot Eye went for the 90 damage. Now I'm just saying, Pilot Eye lost that game. Just saying.
Okay,
Now, mind you,
saying.
when you have the Quelling Blade and the 2-second tree thing, you can just cut a tree, walk through it, and the thing just grows back, and you're invisible. So you can juke forever. They never catch you.
That's pretty cool.
Never ever. And the only downside is you can't cut cool paths and then keep using them. So it's actually a little bit slow. Sometimes you get stuck back there. Make sure you have a blink dagger.
You know where it's really cool is the timber saw. Oh, apparently they can't see them.
Well, they said go, so
hopefully everything is working. And it's all fine and dandy as we get ready. Another tense moment in this game. Fenrir hiding out in the trees. He carved a path through even though he doesn't have a Quelling Blade.
I was the one who's leaning ahead here. Okay.
This is kind of crazy. They're baiting it out. 11 ready up on the high ground. They have vision here complete and total
he misses!
He missed it! And now the global comes after the fact. They find the stun as well onto the Bane in the woods, and more damage coming out onto Vici as Lanham just tries to get the heck out of here. He's getting the damage mitigation from the overcharge, but man, oh man.
It's your boy 11. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, my hero. This guy goes for it, and I can appreciate that. But that was a bold play. He had two heroes closer, but he knows the one they really want is that silencer. If they can get him, it's just such a better start to the team fight. Unfortunately, he was not able to make the grab in time, and that's going to cost them a tier 1 mid.
Yeah. Rough stuff for sure. And again, you make that play, you probably win the fight, and you're setting up to go really far in the subsequent engagement, as Paparazzi not going to get hit there by the shackle. And ZYD looks like they will not decide to chase him. Instead, they just take down XCJ. That's silencer dead. 40 seconds. That should be a tower.
Yeah, got him eventually.
That's true. Not 11, though. He didn't get him.
No.
He was saving the lasso
And
for the next time
saving
around.
the last hit for someone else on his team so they get the kill gold. Again, just the next level plays. That's what we want to see here. And the age is remaining for just another 35 seconds, so don't want to get too wild here, but they would love to chip away to tier 3. In fact, they're just going to smoke up the Bane and the Bat Rider, and he's an Arcane Rune.
Yeah, this is
So
really
good thing they had that lasso. It's also just amazing for Firefly. Honestly, almost more important.
They have vision in here, though. Radiant do right now. Can jump on any of these heroes if they happen to come within range. Paparazzi going to be given
Dust.
that Aghanim Scepter, one of the few items that can actually double the damage that he does to towers as they manage to find the catch. The immediate Yule Scepter up there on a ZYD, but still the damage is too significant. They blow through the Aegis, and the buyback from Io needs to relocate into this one. I don't know if it's going to be here in time, though. 11 still living. They managed to take down the Clinks. Dead for 50 seconds.
11 the urn. Oh, 10 HP. He survives the power
God.
shot. Doesn't
Are you
hit.
kidding me? Oh, 11. What a guy. Jump forward, though. They find Paparazzi because the Io had to relocate back. And there's going to be the call down. PYW is going to go in the grave yet again.
Xingqiu went too deep once more,
and
there
they
was
managed
lasso.
to find the lasso. The global silence comes with the BKB. Actually, Xingqiu is living for the moment, but Ori turns this around. Isn't going to be able to find that kill onto the Mirana. Does have a missile going forward onto him, but with the bottle heal and everything else, Xingqiu should be okay. Shackle off the mark. Another buyback by the silencer. They managed to take down 11. TYD having himself a hell of a game.
651 gold for that kill. Didn't 11 just die?
Yes, he did. I mean, 11's been having a great game. It makes sense that you'd have that much of a bounty.
Wow. Isn't it? He's 489. Why is that worth so much? That's absurd. That's a lot of gold.
That's a lot of gold.
Am I crazy? Why is that so much gold?
You know, I can't tell you, Trent. We'll have to do
the
some
math is hard, guys. I don't know. Clearly, I'm missing something.
Here's the replay now is PYW again.
Okay, so if you watch that bottom, 11's just standing in perfect vision of the dire side. Literally just standing there. So PYW blinks down and almost kills him, but that LSA saves the fight, because at least now there's a chance for him to have a regoose, which is what ends up happening with the buyback from the Io, and then it comes back in after the Aegis. And you can see 11 survives on 10 HP post-earn, but that is what secures on the tower. So excellent stuff there from Ori, really trying to keep themselves in this one.
Yeah, definitely. Now coming back into the fight, Serenity. Looking like they're going to find Initiation. Fenrir kind of left for dead here. They do have another Initiation. Oh my god, that was close to an arrow in the head. 11. Ori trying to run away, but the shackle shot onto 2. They've been able to find him. The gyrocopter running out of there, but the mechanism is going to turn this one. And now Gyro pops the call down. Just going to chase all these heroes and kill off the Mirana. Chase down ZGZ. And he is fallen. He's dead. Everybody's gone from Team Serenity.
Xingqiu is wild. This guy doesn't even use his BKB. It's a threat. He just buys it like, I'm just going to have this thing. I'm just going to hop into you and not use it.
Paparazzi kills off XJ. Oh! Good play with the blink back in, but the Yule Scepter was a little better. And eventually Ori is going to clean up PYW. It looks like he's, let's see if he can bait him out, but no high ground miss.
And they are marching to that tier 3 up top. I think they might just want to march the mid lane racks, but probably figuring they don't have enough time, and if they go for the racks, they're definitely going to get some annoying buybacks, so just taking care of a second tier 3.
Buyback from Ursa again. Paparazzi just laying into the tower.
There's a ping from 11 like, guys, yo, you know there are barracks, right? So they make the rotate during the glyph. Very nice.
Good bit of damage being leveled out here. They do also have Ori.
You can see him. He has to try and move to the right to ensure that the second Ags actually hits the melee racks, not the ranged. Downsides the Aghanim's. It's not perfect.
The melee will eventually fall. Range goes down as well. And it looks like they're going to be content with just that. So they head back out and we'll probably try and clear up these shrines. Oh man, Lanham now buying the tome. So level 20 for him. He's got the 150 GPM, can start getting into some damage items if he wants, and then also obviously getting close to that 25, which just is game changing.
I like the choice of the HP regen, not going the HP regen, even though we see it quite a bit, because it's a very bursty lineup from the side of Team Serenity. So I feel like if you're going to die, the HP regen is not going to make that much of a difference. Like there would have to be some sort of save play made from like a stun from Ori, like how he saved 11 in the previous engagement. What's more likely is that you could get a save by buying a Glimmer Cape, or some more items. And the later this game goes, obviously you just get more and more value out of that 150 GPM. Plus, it gives space to Fenrir because now Fenrir can buy some items and you can pick up the wards.
Yeah. Well, Roche.
I have Fenrir, I think, for my fantasy, so don't do that. I need Fenrir with a couple wards being bought out here.
Fair enough. Well, 6,000 gold lead. Roche is up. Serenity looking to potentially see if they can secure themselves something. Like, again, you look at this Ursa and it's like, great, blink, basher, jump in, potentially kill somebody. But at the same time, it does feel like in these big team fights, every time it's 5-on-5, Vici come out on top. Depending on how the skills are hit.
Yeah, it requires pretty, like, the best fight they had was with the ZYD on the Shackle on 2 heroes, right?
Yeah.
So.
7,000 net worth lead. Gyrocopter illusion coming up high ground. I'll take that one down. Now, Vici know where they're at. God, Fenrir is just so bold. Just walking around, taking a stroll.
Do you think ZYD's the big ZYF fan?
Potentially.
All right, 11. Oh, blink canceled. Nice power shot.
That saves a life right there, but
Or not.
they give up another one instead, and the global good Yule Scepter there onto the Clink, so they can't deal out damage, and Paparazzi has his BKB out already. Look at the damage from this Gyrocopter with the Light Strike Array coming in after the fact. A double kill for Paparazzi, and it's on a few big ones. The Io Spirits hit onto 2. XCJ is dead. Paparazzi triple kill. They've got another round of them as they try and make this work, but with the Io in tow, they won't decide to chase any further. Shackle? Not going to be enough. God, Lanham getting very close.
Yeah, still has his mech, if necessary. And they're not going to end up pushing for anything, just because the wave is a little bit further back in the mid lane, but they'll go for the Roche. Plenty of damage for this, and you can see the global silence does not have that impact. They can lasso anyone at this point, because the Gyrocopter has the BKB, and that's already been effective, but more importantly, just getting into ridiculous damage because of these IO talents. Paparazzi's completely fine, even if his whole team is ulted from the global.
Yeah, it really is. And you also saw there, you know, the strength. Like, if BKBs are down for Serenity, they just can't fight. Like, there's all these little things. Yule Scepter, Light Strike Array. It connects, and then you don't have those right clicks coming in anymore. Even though they've got a ton of damage. Like this Mirana, you know, she's got MKB and Maelstrom, but, you know, once that BKB starts wearing down low, it's just not happening. Here's the take a look again at that fight. Like Ursa, not normally the target that you would go on in the initial beginning, but as you said, they just don't care about the global anymore.
Yeah, everyone's silent, but Paparazzi just stands tall and obliterates them all. Very difficult here for them to bring down at this point. And back in the main game, they're trying to fight their way back into it. There's Paparazzi under a ward.
Everybody, they catch them out as well. That's Mirana dead. Can't get off absolutely anything, and the damage coming in from this Clinks, it's not nearly enough. Also, PYW, they wait for the Enrage to wear off, then they go for the Laguna Blade. They also have a Fiend's Grip here, and GG is called. Vici, own it.
Yeah, just a pretty standard-looking draft. Saw the tools they had. I say standard, but I guess Batrider's been a hero who's kind of been out there lately, but felt like they just knew what they were doing. I love the synergy of the lasso. I feel like they had a lot of very easy-to-execute lasso plays available to them, which is one way to make the hero work in a meta where he seems to be a little bit weaker than usual.
Yeah.
He's also someone that, although he doesn't get picked up in dual lanes in a lot of his past, dual lanes are pretty fine with this hero. Like, you can sync up very nicely with a sticky napalm.
No, totally. And I think that particularly that Bane was like a really good partner with him. You know, you just throw that in there, you can get a bunch of stacks up of it, and then you just Firefly over the top. And then, of course, later on, it's the good like BKB Piercing Disable, which is the main reason we've been seeing that hero get picked up nowadays. So really impressive stuff from Vici. Anything you change from Serenity and what they were doing in that game?
There's still a team that's hard to read, which can be good for them. But it can also just be like they're hard to read because they're just doing stuff that you're, you know, maybe not the more standard Dota that we're used to. But that works and it doesn't work. So I would just like to see maybe a little bit more team fight. I feel like I just had a super hard time executing anything there. Like I don't really know what a good team fight looks like for that lineup. It basically completely relies on a two-man shackle, and that was from a Wind Ranger that didn't prioritize Blink as a really early item. You had the Maelstrom first and then the BKB. So the whole early game was just kind of going off basically failed initiations from Vici.
All right, well, let's see if we can possibly have Serenity solve their drafting woes or if they're going to come back strong. Game number 2, it is, again, Vici versus Serenity. Our third round, TI group stage. We'll see you guys in a bit. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the International 8. We're taking a look at the third series. Again, it is Team Serenity versus Vici Gaming. I'm Lyrical, joined as well by the wonderful Trent Pax, my man. We've had a lot of Dota today. It's
He's
going
going crazy. That's all it took. 5 games, and now the 6th. And the wheels are coming off on this ride, as you can tell. So we're going to hop right into it. The drafts are beginning. Team Serenity, they're going to have first pick, and they're going to be on Radiant's side. Now, I'm no statistician, but the ones who are say that that's the place to be. First pick Radiant is where all the cool kids go.
And it's one of the first Crystal Maidens that we've seen, at least for me, of this tournament. I think that's just because we've been on the different games.
Yeah.
But it's been around. But it's cool to see that first pick overall by Team Serenity.
Yeah, between the first phase bans, where she still lingers around there, and then just like some other supports being prioritized instead for the teams we've been casting. We haven't got her all too much, but she's of course been all around. I know she's in a lot of your predictions out there. So I pray for you that she'll keep getting picked. You guys can get that big comeback going. Maybe some of you do have Wraith King. Good luck to you. Maybe he'll keep getting picked too. But you never truly know who the most picked hero will be at TI. It slowly starts creeping in. A couple days from now, some hero might pop up, and suddenly they're in every single game because that meta's always evolving. This is not an evolution of the meta. This is old school. It's Shadow Demon Mirana.
And look at this one. How do you do, Mr. PL? Okay. A lot of things to talk about here. First and foremost, there was a long break in between this game and the last game. That was Vici taking a long time before they said that they were ready. So assuming that they were taking a long time figuring out what they wanted their opener to look like. And they came out very quick out of the gate. They saw the Crystal Maiden, immediately insta-picked the Shadow Demon Mirana, and now Serenity going with the Blast for the Past in the PL. And this is a hero that still feels quite strong to me.
Yeah, it's a hero that they like too. One that I believe they've already played it at TI too, so they're prepped to bring it out when necessary. And the last time they had it was also what?
Way back at TI2, huh?
Oh, no, you got me.
All right, I'm done.
You got me there.
The worst.
So they got the CM PL opener in their victory over Virtus Pro. So I mean, you can take down Virtus Pro with Crystal Maiden PL, surely. VG Gaming. It's just VP to VG. How hard can it be? So they'll look for a little ban out there on the Earthshaker. Pretty annoying hero. Can follow up from the Shadow Demon. Same thing with the Kunkka. So Shadow Demon, really the focal point of these bans, it feels like, and just trying to help out their Kunkka to stay alive here.
Yeah, I think that this is sort of the type of lineup also that a lot of people are going to look at and say, PO, really? Is he that big of a deal? Like, is he that valuable? The way that this hero was like played, just a couple of months ago and was so strong was you get that heart, you run in there, you have your diffusal blade, and you just cause chaos. And then you have like another hero that follows behind that does a lot of the damage. And then he just drains his mana as a pest. And then the way that they decided to nerf that was by making the illusions easier to kill. When you get to that 25 talent, I don't know if that matters that much because those illusions are still difficult to kill because they're doppelganger illusions.
Yeah.
The ones that are still left alive.
And he still impacts your draft, right? Like, you have to get these certain answers to try and deal with all of his illusions. We've seen teams try various options. The reason maybe one could argue that they were able to take their game is that Virtus Pro ended up going for the Sven. Like, if you have to pull a Sven out, then things probably aren't looking all too hot in your drafting phase, and that was what the answer they were hoping for. And although VP are probably the only team who found success with Sven in the past 4 months, it wasn't enough in that one. So we'll see if they can get the same supporting cast on the side of Serenity to help. The Lina was one of them, as that is removed, one that they've gone back for time and time again. They just want a couple playmakers, some space being made across the map for PL to get huge.
Definitely. And that is the dream indeed. So how do you stop that from happening for Vici Gaming? Like, one of the ways is potentially trying to pressure the lane, and then I guess on top of that, taking other heroes that are good at being able to clear through those illusions. Lesh always comes to mind.
Yeah, bit of a nice hero in China. Team Serenity, they really like Lush during their qualifier run. But Vici Gaming, I don't know if they have the same affection for it. It definitely combos up really nicely with the Shadow Demons. That's a pretty good shout. Earlier on, they went for the Shadow Demon Mirana and Shadow Shaman as a trio. Kind of an interesting support duo in the Shadow Demon and the Shadow Shaman. They don't offer a lot of team fight, but they do offer pick off potential at a very high degree from the Shadow Demon, and then also just like some actual push potential out of the support position. Speaking of which, Jakiro actually looks kind of okay. I know that hero just I feel like he hasn't shown up. I don't even know if he's been picked yet this tournament. He might be one of those heroes that hasn't, but he looks okay with the Shadow Demon and Mirana and trying to get some AoE against the PL.
I mean, it is always tough with the
Also good against
doppelganger,
Crystal Maiden too.
just capable of taking all of the debuffs off of him, but it is the type of hero that can, apply that pressure and maybe play at a tempo that's fast enough to shut down PL before he gets online.
Oh, we'll see. I know they used to play it, but then you kind of have like SD and Jakiro, and they both kind of fill very similar roles. So
Yeah.
likely we'll find something else. But Vici, they're not sure. They are really going in deep. Could also be considering things like what's 11's hero going to be? Do they want maybe the Brewmaster?
This doesn't look good. Like, to take that long in between this game and then the last one, and then also now to go down to 15 reserve time. I mean, maybe it's
Okay.
gonna all come out together, but this is a big ET.
Yeah, if your team's Serenity, you really want to start picking very fast right now, I think. If you can put a little bit of pressure back on your opponents, if assuming they also just spent all that time considering what their next pick was going to be, I don't see how ET's going to change it all too much. One thing that's great is that it gives them a lot of good team fight, and the Nyx Assassin's already banned, which is a hero that Serenity love, and it's also a hero that really comes to mind up against the Elder Titan. And there, that pressure will go right back on. A tiny, great grab, very meta hero, still in the pool, and matches up really well with the Elder Titan in the position 4 if necessary.
Mm.
Like if these two ran into each other, Tiny's just going to kill ET.
Yeah, that's true. You can run it in that if you wanted, and it's really a lot better because of the Crystal Maiden too.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, this is something you need a lot of mana regen, but not as much so when you got the CM.
And it is Serenity, so you should always expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
It should just be the exact opposite of what you think. They pick Ursa third, you're like, oh, well, clearly this is support Ursa. What kind of a fool would think that they would run a core? You an idiot?
Yeah. And again, the quick picking. Dragon Knight's going to get taken now for Vici Gaming. Serenity still on the clock themselves with a lot of reserve time to work through if they want to.
Storm Spirit. I like Storm Spirit when I see DK because I just view it as this hero that, like, you're going to get a good lane for your Storm. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a whole lot DK can do to, like, bully you out of it. DK, on the other hand, he does have a decent stun with, like, a blink and everything and maybe from the Shadow Blade, but yeah, it's not some incredible counter to the Storm Spirit or anything, and plus the rest of the supporting cast isn't that incredible in overall control, but Team Serenity, they do like their Storm, so I could see it. They also like their Queen of Pain, but that hero hasn't been featured too much in many of our games. So.
They play it in an interesting way too.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they ever?
I don't know if you've heard about it.
Oh, yeah. I think the kids know.
That's true. Yeah, we'll see what they end up going for. Serenity, as we've always talked about, expecting unexpected. It would be maybe a little bit scary too if you start to like rotate in a Shadow Demon maybe early on and a Mirana. Although those two are probably going to be laning together somewhere else anyways. But regardless, a lot of team fight from Vici Gaming this time around, which is what we saw last time. It's weird to think right now with like the reserve time getting lower and lower for Vici and how long it took to get into this game that they're the ones worried, but they're up a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you're right. It does just kind of feel like they took a long time, but I guess they're just securing very good options for themselves, and yeah, they certainly deserve the win too. They played a lot better. Game 1, they had a way better strategy going together, and be the Ember Spirit. Okay, so that is kind of a greedier mid, and can do fine against the Dragon Knight. Not the Storm Spirit, but the Ember. Very similar stuff. Kind of feel like support Zeus would have been kind of cool here too. I feel like the Tiny's going to lean more in towards the core role now that there's a lot of value in the Silver Edge versus the Dragon Knight. And so that'll be probably the offlaner, Ember Spirit mid, PL in the safe lane, and then we'll opt for some sort of a hero to combo with the Tiny in lane. Could be the Crystal Maiden, and they can just grab a different hero for the PL as well, which is very realistic here.
It did feel more like a normal draft this time from Team Serenity. They got stuns, They got things to keep people in place a little bit longer as the Magnus is going to get banned.
It's a cool ban. Just like, okay, it could be support Tiny, and then they just opt in towards this offlane Magnus, and we have a empowered Ember.
The ET, a hero that I think is overlooked for how much it brings to the table, particularly against something like a PL, Because if they wanted to
10
run like a
seconds
last pick
remaining.
Lesh or something for Vici, then you've got like this magic
5
resistance
seconds
reduction on
remaining.
all those illusions, and then you just sort of double down on being able to clear through them. That could be kind of cool. Or some other magic damage hero. Honestly, Mirana in a way is already that.
Team Serenity's turn to pick.
And then the Husk got removed. So just making sure Ember will have an okay time at the very least. Or whoever has to go mid. Sometimes the Tiny may have to go if they end up picking something even more devastating. But nothing really springs to mind. So Team Serenity, how do you want to close this out? They have the catch of the Ember. They have possibilities of a like nuking roaming Tiny that can set up for a boost of traveling in Ember
10
Spirit. So I like that as a
seconds
duo, as a core. But there is still that flexibility to throw this to the support.
5 seconds remaining.
Is there any team fight breaking support here that would be okay? I don't think Naga's really that great anymore.
Yeah.
Phoenix actually looks pretty good. Yeah, Phoenix is okay. Phoenix is definitely a... The only downside is Mirana has that attack speed to work well, and it's just not a hero that we've seen coming up from Team Serenity either, so maybe we won't get it.
I could do something like an Earth Spirit that's come back in style a little bit. One of those like help initiate the team fights. I guess that they already have a little bit of that extra range with the Ember Spirit finding with slight chains and stuff. But a little bit of follow up afterwards could be nice.
It's good to get into the mind of Team Serenity. You know, we don't know them all too well, and okay, team fight breakup, not the Phoenix, but the Wyvern instead.
Easy
Good
peasy.
choice. Really like it there. I'm zoning it. I had Storm Spirit, they went Ember Spirit. I said Phoenix, they went Winter Wyvern. I've got the wrong elements in my head. I can't quite figure it out. I'm sorry, guys.
Fair enough.
Sixth game, I'm clearly falling off. The wheels are gone.
Mm.
And Vici, they're going to try and keep straight rolling, though. Go for the
10
final
seconds
victory here.
remaining.
The one thing that is a little bit sketchy about this is Cold Embrace with like ET and Mirana
5 seconds
feels like
remaining.
you're setting somebody up to die.
That's true.
Choose your
Or to get
hero.
chronoed.
And this again, it feels like this is really the Vici style. When I think of them, I think of like big team fight ultimates and big team fight abilities. Stomp, Chronosphere, the Mirana stuff even, like the damage that you throw into it in a big AoE around you. All of this feels like a very Vici-oriented draft, but we've seen that sometimes fall off, particularly at this tournament where they haven't had the best results so far in the group stage.
Okay, so I guess ZenQ going to be playing a core Wyvern here, it looks like.
Okay.
It's a good way to get some team fight breakup out of your offlane. And PYW, he played very well on that support Ursa. Honestly, I don't think he could have asked for anything more out of the first 20 minutes of that pick. So if he can do the same thing here on the Tiny,
10 seconds
maybe that'll be
remaining.
enough for them.
He reminds me of DJ.
5 seconds.
You know what I'm talking
remaining.
about?
Well, come on now. DJ has
What?
been a literal god. I can't just give it to Mr. PYW. I don't even know how to say his name.
Reminds me of DJ.
Reminds me what?
Like the way
Well,
that
you
they
remind me of
prioritize-
OD Pixel, but it's not the same thing.
Destroyed. Oh god, it hurts. I'm happy to be Paw. I'll be PYW. We're gonna hang out together. We're gonna form an anti-trap
You're gonna go
club.
find him down at the hotel. You guys are gonna be cool together. Go watch some games later. Try and get some insight from the boy.
He's probably gonna reject me too. Jesus. All right. Well, TI8 back in full effect as we go into the third series, Game 2. Team Serenity looking to get on the board against the Vici Gaming team. My goodness. And Paparazzi on a faceless void. How many times has this guy taken over a game?
I know. He's so good. I don't know. I feel like I like him when he doesn't have a lot of pressure in terms of like his spell casting though. I always picture him as like the mop and bucket kind of a guy, where he wants everyone else to be casting the chronos and do that stuff, and he just does the damage. But then he surprises me because he already had one game earlier today where he played the void and did an exceptionally well job. So going through into this one, at least I think he was playing the void. I didn't actually check. Yeah, he was. Oh yeah, he did good. 6-3 and 13 to finish off there.
Nifty. You like to see it. All right, well, let's see. As we hop into this one, first player to get 50 last hits. What's that going to be?
I got to get some of these things right. I'm not doing too hot. We weren't able to click them on the other streams.
I just click them randomly.
Yeah,
That's the
same. I
big
just
thing.
quickly do it and close it.
We'll say that there's going to be 56 plus player deaths at the end of the game. And then, of course, right here. Oh, lordy. This is going to be amazing. I'm actually so hyped for this game. I think that, like, ET is one of my favorite heroes to watch because it always sets up for, like, the big plays. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's sort of like this, you see the Earth Splitter go out there and you know that something is going to pop and then all of a sudden it goes off. It's great.
I think Shadow Fiend does that for me, you know. Just it doesn't matter how changed that hero gets. The way he swags across the map and the big
30
ulties.
seconds to battle.
Get to watch him dominate someone in the mid lane too. Always some good stuff. But at least your hero's in this one, so we'll have to be focusing on the Elder Titan in this one. And he's going to be starting down in the bottom with Paparazzi. He's a little bit of a bully lane here.
Mm.
I suppose it makes sense when you really want your SD and Mirana playing together, eh?
Well, and they've got themselves a ton of, like, you know, just regen in this lane also. You've got 6 tangos, a salve as well. Is ZZZ going to try and steal away this bounty rune? It is, in fact, going to go over to Paparazzi. The punches. SPL taking a beating, and it's not stopping now. Serenity in some trouble. One more hit, they get the kill. Saved the point.
All right, man, just the walk at. And that looks like an Orb of Venom kill sort of a play. And nope, not required. Just 362 move speed now with these booties.
Oh, man.
Now that is a way to start this lane. You're going to have to try and body block and hold this one way back as looks like some cheeky wave shenanigans going on.
You know, see, this is the point in the game where I would say, and this is where the lane becomes really tough. It is 40 seconds into the game. This lane is not going to go well for them here, I feel like.
Yeah, Crystal Main's out of mana because she already spent one of the Crystal Novas just attempting to save ZZZ, and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's where you really wish it would have been XCJ that would have died. He has 1 mango, but yeah, this could definitely be tough. Still will be able to secure themselves some of the last hits on the range creeps, I'm sure. And meanwhile, mid lane, it's just going to be a farm fest for sure. See if he can last hit a little bit better.
This PYW guy, I don't know about it. Is he really a support if you're queuing up treads? This guy has found some sort of a secret here to just get himself these support heroes, and he's just able to buy whatever he wants.
It's true. He kind of does just do whatever. And he's going to solve up now. Also, the aura coming in, so I think that it makes sense that you do it like this early on, as the Arctic Barn is going to lay into 11, because it costs too much mana to go for like avalanche tosses early on. This is better harassment, it feels like.
Yeah, you get way more value out of this because he's just going to walk at Fenrir and try and force out disruptions. But in the bottom, you can see now Paparazzi is getting zoned back. It's not a lot of burst damage in this lane, right? Like, it's very kind of like slow damage over time, so you can just use a lance and then wait for the time so that it's not going to be able to be time walked off, and then you go for Crystal Nova and just slowly beat down the regen from Paparazzi. But Lanham rotating from behind. He's still level 1, so no stomp, or they could actually have a decent play here.
He's have a lot of right-click damage, though, and is going to punch away at these two. But another, again, Crystal Nova dealing the deeps, and well, the sort of lane will ebb and flow back and forth depending on who has their abilities up.
Yeah, I like this use of the time dilation really early on, too, because Crystal Maiden, you know, she's going to pass the Q, and then you just instantly counter with the time dilation to slow them down in turn. And plus, there's a good chance you're going to get 2 of the abilities out of the PL when the Phantom Rush goes off.
Oh, yeah. Well, so far, everybody kind of having a decent time. It looks like Tiny is a little bit behind, but cut him some slack considering he's technically the support. And Ava, or rather Toss,
That's
up
one way
in
to
the
catch
air.
up.
Fenrir, he's just dead.
Yeah, quick kill.
What you like to see. This Paparazzi going to have to back out, but yeah, bottom or top lane rather. They're just sort of battling behind the tower at this stage, and yeah, mid as well, trading off. Even CS, nothing really to write home about.
They have a couple of creeps here if they want to actually make a pull at the 20-second mark. Curious what the play is here from the Radiant.
Stomp
bottom,
down.
yeah.
Doesn't have a way out of that, and the punches come through. Again, the PL is going to die. Yeah, this is the problem that we identified in the lane. Every now and then you're going to force back Vici, but the pressure will come with that ET.
Yeah, at the very least, they did block off the camp, right, to make sure that Lanham couldn't abuse the hard camp, but just keep stacking all that damage, or else then it would have been a lot of problems with the PL. So life is better than one would think with that duo coming down here. Back up top, a lot of harass onto 11, dropping very low. Oh, the Splinter Blast too. Ooh, 29 HP.
They want to get the punch in. He's trying to juke away. They see where Zincu is, and they're going to be able to get the poison. And the arrow, the follow-up. Ev11 is a madman. They managed to get the kill. Avalanche and...
Oh, come on!
Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. What a player.
Yeah.
Oh, throw the tree at him. Why do you go back?
There's 11, dude. I tell you. his MO. He can't help himself. He just has to go for these things.
Is there any chance that he like wanted to die because then
Yeah,
he could TP out?
I
That's what it
mean,
seemed
he
like.
was low enough that the neutrals were pretty close, though,
That's true.
to be fair. And Fenrir now, he might be in a bit of trouble too. The toss with the mango. Oh, the
Oh.
disruption!
Nice play there as well. Zinkyu's still in the area, and Fenrir will eventually die.
Yeah,
They
not
made him work
quite.
for it.
Thought maybe TP's come through, but let him. He has nothing to rotate down or up there with. So. Well, meanwhile, mid lane, we haven't talked about that all. Oh, well, no time for that. Just ZZZ. Just forced to pop up that time dilation, and
Can't
he's like,
time walk.
oh,
That's what happens.
Yeah.
This is why this hero is so good. And Lanham going for the stomp, and he's going to be able to secure
the bounty
himself
rune.
a bounty rune, give a punch there to break the salve, or just pass away into the nether realm.
I thought they don't even go for that one.
Oh, 4 stacks. Fenrir. What a play. It's a really, I always like Shadow Demon too, like the way that the hero works, where it's not like one big skill shot you gotta hit, it's like 4 small ones in a row, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's cool.
That's a lot of gold for that solo kill for an enemy support. 331 for the Shadow Demon. That gives him his boots. She can just duck in here and buy right now.
Disruption, arrow, after. That is the combo that we've seen time and again. The follow-up, Zinq. They do have a little bit more Shadow Poison coming out. Fenrir, seeing if he can find him. They do manage to find the stomp, but Zinq still able to walk away, living through this one now as they want to get the kill just
that range
outside
was
of
so
range.
close.
And Lanham, he's never given up. Look at this madman. They throw out the arrow. It's just barely off the mark.
Oh,
Lanham,
no.
they think he jukes to the other side. They're going to miss the stomp and likely going to lose his life as Zinq just a little bit too tanky.
11!
11 is going in for this. They toss him away. They don't manage to hit with the Star Storm. They kill off Lanham, almost not quite dead, but they will kill 11, and now they show back up. Vici Gaming have lost their damn minds.
11. This guy never fails to disappoint. I love him. The raindrops. No one respecting the raindrops here. They saved Fenrir for a long time, and then they end up providing Zinq with the survivability as well as they start diving him under the tower. And a little shrine to get everyone back and fighting for him here. But finally, back in the mid lane. We haven't talked about this at all. There's actually 2 heroes here.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it based off of the kill feed, but Ori's been chilling out, Dragon Knighting away here, getting 47 and 9, and he's got a hefty little advantage here, but not too much up against ZYD. I mean, you are also an Ember Spirit, so you're kind of okay just getting decent farm and trying to get in towards those bigger items. Should have a pretty decent path towards bots, you would think, in this matchup, and maybe try and kill around the map with his support Tiny.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Well, Lanham is now going to be able to get a stomp to escape away from the PL for the moment. But what I was saying I feel like is kind of weird is that on the one hand, PL and Ember late game are just monsters. They're normally impossibly hard to deal with. But you've got this caveat here in this game, which is Chronosphere. And Chronosphere kind of beats everything if you can catch a couple of heroes in it.
Paparazzi definitely getting the short end here, though. He's not going to have one of those like really quick games. He is super poor in this match. He's been given that task of becoming the anti-carry and trying to slow down an opponent. Hasn't worked all that well. I feel like ZZZ, you know, he's doing quite fine at this point. No third hero rotating down because they're just too busy in the top lane. And Lanham, of course, making the rotation top, too.
ZYD spots out the Miranda there, but a quick jump away after she misses on the arrow. We'll make sure that she gets out of there. Looks like ZYD trying to build into the Aquila on the Ember. And again, 8 minutes in, it's only a 1,000 gold lead for Serenity, as they are hoping to get these heroes farmed up and then start moving around the map as a pack, possibly, with Ember just pushing out those side lanes.
Yeah, likewise, Paparazzi would hope to have something with that first Chrono, but they don't have a very good kill threat with Chrono. It's going to require 11 to come down here with an arrow and the Star Storm, because there's no Witch Doctor or anything like that, right? Where you have a support that can actually provide the nuke and lion or something.
Yeah, and Lanham is level 3. Like, if he had his ulti, maybe then.
Sure.
But it's not looking great for
yeah,
that.
he's at a point where even if he got Tome right now, he wouldn't be 6.
No.
That's a bit painful. But at the very least, Fenrir will be getting 6 because he's just been so active in these kills up top, as well as staying in the lane the whole time. But speaking of kills, Ember Spirit will be stopped by the disruption, though, so won't be able to chase down Fenrir.
Nice play there by the Shadow Demon, making sure that his cores stay alive.
Look at Zinke just holding this tower. Been here for a while up against the Dragon Knight. But the ulti's coming through, and this is it. Ori wants this tower, I think.
This is so cool. Like, I really like the decision to take the Tiny and give him the majority of the CS after you end up having Zinke get the levels. Because as a Winter Wyvern, like, core, it's not really that great. But PYW is going to be able to scale into the later game and be a damage dealer.
Yeah, he's listed like as a support player, but this guy does this a lot, right? Where they kind of play the 2 3.5s. There's a couple teams that do this. I would say TNC are classified as the same thing with Sam H,
Right.
where there's a lot of games where he has sacrificed a lot to just he gets the basic levels and stuff on like a Nyx assassin, and then from there they give the gold to a different hero that can be just as impactful, like for Tim's. So. They're maybe mimicking that sort of a strategy here for themselves, and the only person who suffers in that is XCJ, as he has to watch Paparazzi walk away from the Chrono. But if you force out a defensive Chrono like that, who cares?
Yeah, you're perfectly happy with it. But Paparazzi, you get the bounty rune.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how you do it, man.
I don't know if that's value. Maybe. Depends on how much gold you get from your kills, and he doesn't have the best killing partners. But PYW purged up, throws the catapult. A little bit of vision there.
Yeah. And now they'll back out again. Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. Like, if he is not going to be able to find a kill with anybody, just keep farming. Throw out that Chronosphere to keep yourself alive. Why not?
Curious what his itemization will be like, too. If he can actually afford to go for the Mask of Madness, will he get enough space to make good use of that? Does he feel pressured to go into something, you know, maybe just like... I mean, he doesn't even have his treads yet, so...
Yeah.
Item builds are not really his problem at the moment.
I mean, the one thing that's sort of a positive right now for Vici is that you do have this DK that's 72 and 10 in terms of last hits denies, top of the net worth. This guy is getting farmed up and will be able to make some room around the map when he makes those rotations with his level 6.
Yeah, it'll have to be in sync with 11. What heroes can they kill? Probably the Ember Spirit.
Or even just pushing towers. Like,
Yep, that's true.
I guess that there's the Winter Wyvern problem, which is still an issue.
Oh, they could just blink on Wyvern.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That works. Yeah,
That's
maybe
good.
maybe kill that hero.
It is PL taking the bottom tier 1 tower.
It's gonna be a pretty early defusal.
And God, he is quite farmed.
XCJ has just completely left him alone down there. Has a TP ready in case anything happens. They all have TPs prepped on the raiding side except for Ember Spirit. But he's got the best TP available now as he has just purchased his bots. 12 minutes in. Really nice
Wow.
start for ZOID. Doesn't even have the Aquila, just the Wraith Band. Got away with a lot. Like zero
Yeah.
pressure on his hero.
I will say it's a little bit scary now thinking about that Blink Dagger coming out in a decent time on the Dragon Knight. If they can manage to find him in the fights, could be a quick kill there. As Ori, speaking of him, he walks around, spots out PYW. They Moonlight Shadow afterwards, actually. A chance that they could have taken a fight there with the Moonlight, but does not happen.
Yeah, and they'll just reveal themselves and just force back Team Serenity, but they don't want to go too much. They want to let this take away the pressure they have.
No, still in the area.
XCJ hit level 7 and did get the ultimate now.
Oh no. Radiant's middle tower is
A
under
good
attack.
initiation here. I mean, honestly, it still doesn't feel that easy. Like, in a way, you kind of still want Chronosphere to be used in those fights, but you would, if you bring Paparazzi up to the top lane, then he's kind of just stuck there on an island, and then you would have to rotate everybody else out or keep like 3 heroes there, which doesn't feel good anyways.
Yeah, so basically no one's getting farmed in this top lane from VG, and then they just leave Fenrir. Like, now it's his job. It's kind of what Zinq was tasked to do up against the Dragon Knight in the mid lane. And it worked out very well. Like, he hasn't put any more pressure onto this tower, but Ori has popped the ulti here now. And maybe after this wave, but ZYD is also ready and prepped. Okay, I think they're going to get this tower this time. They're going to bring in the Elder Titan here, too.
I mean, if he needs to.
Or not.
Are they really not going to go?
A lot of respect here, I guess. I mean, they don't see the raiding heroes. They don't know where they rotated to out of top, so they're just playing really cautiously.
I guess they still feel confident if they can just like try and buy some space for Paparazzi to get farmed, but like you said earlier, this doesn't feel like a game where he's just going to be able to take over it because he has been sacrificed so much as far as like what he's been able to get.
This is quite the rotation from GZZ. He has the double Blades of Alacrity purchased, can't use them yet, and he's just running into essentially a fight after pushing out the wave all the way to Paparazzi. So just with his team to secure this tower. And with him showing on the wave like this, that's the key for Fenrir to get the hell out of here.
God, look at that. The Blink Dagger done for PYW 14 minutes in.
That's a
Man.
dead Shadow Demon.
That'll happen. Give him more and more punch there, and now take down the tower.
Is under attack.
In the meantime, there's not a whole lot that you can do around the rest of the map, to be honest. Like, they're kind of pushing in towards the tier 1. But I feel like there's a chance that you could still TP back with the Winter Wyvern and use Curse to defend this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll be here in time. I don't think there's any real concern. They could just leave GGZ because he just TP'd up top, but he should be survivable enough that with the heroes on the dire side, they can't really get the kill.
They're going to be going again. CYD looking for that stomp as they pressure.
Yeah, and here it
this
comes.
out.
Be a bit cautious here. Remember, there's no DK ulti too, so.
Oh my god, they're all coming.
Oh, arrow misses.
I mean, they didn't get the tower top.
Is under
What?
attack.
Yeah, they just leave GGZ though, because
Okay.
he doesn't have TP, right? So he's the one who can stay.
And I guess that Vici don't want to TP everybody to try and fight him either. But Paparazzi potentially could if they brought like one more.
They all TP'd out though, like
Yeah.
the Marana and the Shadow Demon. Well, Shadow Demon
Oh.
died, but
Tossing a Frostbite and a kill onto 11. It happens so quick. This is the strength of having this tiny the Blink Dagger so early on.
yeah, that's a pretty greedy play from 11. But I guess I can understand it. Maybe he thought they would rotate back up top because like he saw them all TP mid, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, well they're gonna run back up top with their PL, but the tower's so close to death. I think they knew that you wouldn't respond to that. It's easy to say from my perspective though, but yeah, sometimes you gotta play greedy, sometimes you get rewarded for it, and sometimes you get punished with a easy kill. But tower deny. Oh man, Lion M trying to help the Radiant side get a deny, but they won't be there in time, as it does look like it's exploding there.
Yeah, is already dead. But yeah, 3,000 gold lead right now for Team Serenity after pretty textbook early game from them, and they have this kind of quad core going on that hasn't really been punished. This is a huge problem.
Dire's
3K
top
lead
tower
for Serenity though. Where do they go from here? So they just look for boots of travel kills with this diffusal blade. Yeah, pretty much actually. That is indeed a problem. Meteor Hammer looks like the item for Xingqiu. Excellent. That's what I like to see.
Universe, eat your heart out. Yeah, I think that this feels like the type of draft too where they're not really under any pressure at all to get stuff done super quickly, and really in a way the pressure is on Vici to try and slow down at least one of these heroes, because if you go into the mid game, like just look at the net worth graph that you've got here. All of them are ahead of most of the heroes from Vici.
Yeah.
They need to get something done.
I think Paparazzi still hasn't queued up an item, but I think he's going to be forced in the Mask of Madness. It feels like it's his only choice. Like, he has to farm his way back in this game, because I just don't have faith in 11 getting enough damage. I don't think you can just turn this into a utility void.
They're the ones that are trying to get pressure around the other side of the map as they smoke up and will run immediately into 11. He does get the blink away. Chains did not connect, but he sticks around thinking he might want to take that fight. 11 able to get the secondary blink out as Ori trying to chase this one down. Does have the stun, able to connect onto PYW, but unfortunately for them, the arrow is not
so
going
greedy.
to connect. The status resistance and while the slight chains is also there, they slow down everybody on Vici. And it is some amount of space made for Paparazzi to farm, but he has a BKB queued up.
Okay. I guess trying to stay alive. That's a bit rough, but that's definitely not going to increase his farm speed. And Serenity just go into that mid tower. And this is where the items start stacking up on CCZ now for the PL. He's going to get his wand, just increase the stats a little bit, and then he'll go back for that Manta, and possibly the heart, possibly the BKB.
This game is really showing me the power of Tiny.
Radiant's
Like,
bottom tower
he's very
is under
irritating.
attack.
Yeah, and in this position 4 role, like, you know, you stick the Winter Wyvern somewhere else, and he can just sort of farm up whatever else he wants. They basically traded farm in that top lane, and they ended up with more than either hero from Vici in it. Like, collectively, they both beat out the Marana.
Yeah, that is pretty ridiculous. It also just comes from like the fact that the Ember essentially utilized the entire jungle, so they just transitioned the Wyvern into the mid lane, and the Tiny just stayed top by himself. So that's how this like the quad core situation is just working out. Just very good distribution here from the Radiant side, and again the sacrifice of XCJ.
Yeah. I mean, he's a Crystal Maiden. This will
Yeah,
happen.
it's fine. You know.
He's got a GPM talent later, right?
Yeah, you can catch up. You can get that a little bit later on. It's fine.
They're probably going to make him take the mana cost, mana loss reduction aura.
For the
Stay in the
team.
dumpster.
I'm surprised he's allowed with just 2 points in Arcane Aura, honestly.
It's true. What the heck? Where's my aura?
Oh, Meteor Hammer done now. Would love a smoke now from Serenity. And they've got one on PYW, and there is a Observer Sentry combo up on the high ground here. Wyvern keeps pinging it. But they have a secondary ward in behind too, so even if this goes down, still going to be some okay vision up in the top lane here.
And the bigger issue is it just doesn't feel like they have answers. Like bottom lane, Landham just tried to catch out the Ember Spirit, and he just remnanted it away. So
Oh, they're going to get caught in the smoke right under a ward. Okay, so Wyvern's pinging this, saying there's a ward on this high ground over here. And they don't de-ward it. Instead, they just leave it, and they walk back from it. No one else shows on the ward, and they smoke back here, thinking, I saw the ward there. But why would there be a ward back here as well? So I don't know if that's the logic there, but either way, it's not going to work out for them because they're fully spotted. Fenrir's going to tank this. He's just dead. I mean, he knew the smoke was coming.
Yeah.
He's got more important heroes, I guess, but still.
Like, I guess that means that Paparazzi can head out this direction now. But he definitely knew, so decision to do that. Fenrir's, you know, he's willing to take that one. He's got 2,000 net worth. It ain't nothing. All right, now they're glyphing the waves. That way Paparazzi has to make a choice. Either jump away or die. There's Hound in this Faceless Void.
Wow, if Zinkyu had flown there, that would have been bad news.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And he is fully committing in. I was wondering after he bought the Mithril Hammer if we were going to see the Faceless Void go back for the Maelstrom. His bottom lane, they are scouting out ZYD. Invis on the Dragonite. If they could find a stun into an arrow, it's the ideal situation, but not the easiest thing in the world, as it's a Shadow Blade for the DK, and well, ZYD just sort of playing it super safe.
Viji's item builds are playing it super safe. I'm just not sure what they're going to be able to do if a 5v5 happens. Clearly they're dodging it as much as possible, but if this is actually going to be a Yules for 11 and then the BKB for the Dragonite now too, it's just, where's the damage? I feel like Elder Titan is the majority of their damage, but he just doesn't have enough levels. Items aren't his problem.
Purge off the Flame Guard. He can't Remnant away very easily.
There's no arrow left.
As they do a lot of damage. So that Ember Spirit just blow him up, and now the turnaround, the Winter's Curse. That's going to kill off the Murano with the Earth Splitter laid through. Not quite enough there, but they are going to lose 2 on the side of Vici as PYW looking for more, able to dodge away from the stomp. They kill off another. Serenity came
CM.
to play.
Oh, he actually finds him. Ori. He'll have to
no.
reveal himself.
I mean, if they kill off Ori here, that's pretty worth. Do they have anything to break it though? Avalanche toss. They got Ori caught.
Give
CM
him the
dying
hammer.
for the team one more time. Why not?
Didn't get there in time. Yeah, Ori had no choice, so he's about to reveal anyway, so CM, just very good scouting play there, and talk about dying and it being worth that. Now that is worth, as opposed to Fenrir's. So both teams end up gaining gold, but majority of it heading over to the Radiant side, but most of it going to the Winter Wyvern, 663. So after the Meteor Hammer can now hop in towards perhaps a Blink Dagger. Yeah, actually already done. Wow, Xingqiu has been farming up a storm.
Yeah, he's definitely where you want to be. And again, it's sort of this dual core that you got. Like, you look at the net worth on all of those heroes, or excuse me, dual
core.
Quad core. Quad cores.
These guys are an I4.
Jeez.
Technology, wow.
Oh no. 22 minutes and Ember's fine. I thought that they might just go straight for the Chronosphere, but honestly, even then, I don't know if they have enough damage. It's bottom lane. They find the kill onto 11 yet again.
That's like your
Serenity
position.
Are just owning.
One sort of hero, basically. I don't know. It's rough. Yeah, the Earth Splitter was still on cooldown for like 10 seconds. That's the only reason I didn't try the Chrono, I think. But I don't even know if it would have been a kill, honestly.
Yeah. So the PL is going to continue the siege here, along with the Winter Wyvern, clearing out the creeps and now proceeding to take down this Tier 2 tower. It is still Paparazzi, uninvolved in any fights, while PYW looks for an opening. He is able to find himself one. Abatos dead Fenrir. Now Ori finds the stun, low duration stun because of that status resistance. They will manage to put the Tiny to sleep. But it's also the tower that's down.
Man, PYW has been absolutely exceptional today. Again, even in the loss, just looking really good.
And what are you doing against this? Like, they really do not have an answer. It's 23 minutes and 9,000 gold lead. They're meteor hammering the tier 3 tower.
And PYW's in.
Like, Paparazzi is a BKB, but that's it. He has to TP back to try and defend against this. I don't know if he's got enough in the tank.
No, Chrono. I mean, you think about this Chrono, it's like once he uses it too, then they really have nothing. So it's like this Chrono has to be absolutely massive. There's so much pressure on it, and now he's got the same thing going with his BKB. Like, I think he understands that, you know, he has to get very farmed, sure. And if he dies, he can't get farmed. So he's about the BKB first, and now he's going back for that Mask of Madness. But he just feels so delayed, and obviously it shows in his net worth how far behind he is.
Yeah.
Now that's a Shadow Blade coming out here for PYW. The more farmed than the Ember Spirit. Tiny here.
It really does feel like it's Vici just having to avoid fights for until the end of days, basically. Like, 4 items from now, I think Paparazzi is going to feel comfortable fighting potentially. And that's just the situation of the game as it is. And Serenity realized that they want to try and put the hurt to him. They find themselves Ori. Do they have any dust, though? Any detection?
They
Sentry
have
Ward,
dust,
the
yeah.
toss, the Ava. They got him caught. And that should be a dead Dragonite, while simultaneously ZYD takes down the Elder Titan. Dropping like flies.
Yeah, and you have 11 and Paparazzi dual pushing a bottom lane together. While their tier 2 is going to go down, and this is likely to be a tier 3 if they want to push. I don't know, they could just play safe and go back. They don't have the best roaching lineup, so at the very least, VG haven't lost that, but tier 3, why would we go for that when there are racks available? Great question. Don't do it. Take the racks instead.
Yeah, really nice to know. I mean, PYW is actually just sitting mid and continuing to push regardless. And these are going to fall down really rapidly. Still no Chronosphere.
Wow, Blink and the Aether
this
Lens
is so
now.
annoying. Avatos, he just dies!
Sick BKB.
Oh, no. I mean, that's the strength of Tiny, right? Like, this is what this hero does and why it's such a problem. But right now, it feels like Vici are going out with a whimper, not a roar, as they kill off Fenrir yet again. And there's the Winter's Curse. They're going to drain away all the mana from this man as they blow him up as well. PYW finds the ET. They're going to take down Ori. Somebody stop this match. They are already dead.
Oh, they stopped it and called it GG.
That was the biggest stomp that I've seen this tournament.
Serenity, they keep doing it. They have these game ones, and you're just like, what was that? And then they just come out with a game like this, and you're just like, all right, these guys got some ideas about Dota. PYW, destroying. He had the most magic or pure damage done to heroes at game end, as my prediction correctly stated he would.
Nice.
I got
Nicely
you
done.
guys. Yeah, no problem. I don't think I said anything, but that's okay. Team Serenity. So what was great about this? I really like this idea of the farm distribution, like having these 2 cores. Like, we're in a meta right now where you want to win these lanes, and then if you can secure this early game, just keep pushing. Game looks pretty good for you. So if you have more cores than your enemies that are at a very good fighting point that early on, game seems okay. Anti-carry Faceless Void did not work out too well.
No, it was rough. And I think that, you know, I think that maybe we're a little bit hard on him during the match because it did feel like there wasn't a great item for him no matter what. They were in such a bad position.
Yeah,
just
no, I
based
think
off
it
of
was
where
the
they
hero.
were.
I don't think it was the
Yeah.
player. I think what happened was there was a wise move from Serenity, right, where they blocked off that hard camp. It's been a while since we've had Elder Titan, but when he was in the meta, that was something that happened all the time, and it looked like VG Gaming weren't ready for it. They brought one sentry down to try and stop it and try and like keep the hard camp for themselves, but then they just didn't have it. So that means Elder Titan doesn't get this ridiculous damage to bully people with. And without that, you're just not nearly as scary in the lane. That was a CM who had 0 mana. Like, they got a couple kills, but then once the levels were there for ZZZ, they just kept on dying to him.
Yeah. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for us here. Vici versus Serenity ends 1-1, as has been the case throughout this TI, it feels like. But we're going to be going to a quick break, and then I do believe that we got some wonderful casters coming up soon, as Cinderin and Toby have just walked into the room as well. So enjoy the cast going on there, and we'll see you guys later on.